Carlos, what happened on the ejection?
It was a quick one there. Somebody say something from the dugout, and Carlos just threw someone out. Nobody knew who it was, and that's when I jumped out of the dugout. And obviously, I wasn't pleased with the strike zone, especially with that Benji at bat there. Went back and looked at some of the pitches, and I wasn't happy about it. Again, I understand that's a tough job there, but yeah, that was all to it.
I know you've talked about this at times in the past, but not having the challenges available to Benj there. What did you think about the way that your guys utilized them tonight?
We were super aggressive today. Especially you lose that first one right there early. I think a little too much there. We got to do a better job, and that's something that we'll continue to talk to the guys about it.
What did you see from Kodai?
Obviously, the first three batters of the game, not ideal. Not what you want to see right away. A couple of walks, and then the three-run homer. He's the sinker, 88 miles per hour there, and then obviously, I thought he found that sweeper, the slider, but they got him there early on.
Will he get another start?
Pretty sure, yeah. I got to talk to David and the pitching coaches, but pretty sure he will.
Is that right around the pitch count that you had in mind for him?
Yeah, we're looking at 85 pitch.
Just the traffic you put on the pace the last couple of nights and not be able to capitalize on that frustration.
Eventually we'll get the big hit. It is frustrating, obviously. Happened yesterday 3 times. Today a couple of times with 2 outs. You continue to get traffic, you continue to put guys on, and, somebody will break through.
Carlos, the classic saying is that momentum's only as good as the next day's starting pitcher. You guys win a series against the Braves and now drop this one. Just how difficult is it to maintain any sort of momentum when the starting pitching is this much in flux right now?
That's where everything starts, and we need those guys to set the tone. We've seen it over, throughout the course of the year, that when we get the quality outings there, those guys are going to give us a chance, the offense with the bullpen, but we got to be better there. We need more from them. We expect more from them, and they know that. So, that's where it starts. That's the bottom line.
Coach, just back to the ABS thing for a second. Obviously, it's something you guys have discussed. Why do you think this deep into the season now, guys are using their challenges in those lower leverage spots early?
They're competing there. They're competing, and there's going to be times where they don't agree with a call. I thought that Marcus one he was super close there, But again, it's something that we have to be mindful, especially early on when you lose the first one like that.
What did you see on that run play in the 5th inning? Is that positioning with Marcus?
Yeah, he's holding the runner there, and obviously kind of like a little late, there. But yeah, we run on second base, he's holding it, and they executed it.
Francisco, what did you see out of Senga, especially in that first inning?
¿Qué tuviste de Senga y más importante en el primer inning?
Como inició el juego, tiramos un primer picheo base por bola y el primer bateador base por bola. Y segundo bateador también fue una base por bola, o sea que ya por ahí no tuvimos mucho en la zona y después se fue arreglando poco a poco cuando el juego se fue desarrollando también.
In the beginning of the game, that first batter walk, second batter walk. So just in that first inning, he just didn't have the command in the zone. But as the game progressed, we were able to make the necessary adjustments and we got back on track.
You mentioned the first 2 walks. You challenged that pitch in the second at bat, I think it was. What is kind of your thought process trying to balance? It's early to use these challenges, but also obviously trying to get your pitcher on track there.
Tú hablas ahí de la base por bola, pero también llamaste un challenge para el segundo bateador. ¿Qué tú estabas pensando ahí? Y eso era para poder ayudar a Senga en ese momento. ¿Qué fue lo que tú estabas pensando?
Pues nada, yo creo que tenemos gente en primera sin out y cambiar conteo a 2-2 en vez de 3-1. Yo creo que es una diferencia grande.
No, well, there was a runner on first there, and I thought in challenging that one, instead of having a 3-1 count, it could be a 2-2 count, and I think that makes a big difference there.
How did the quality of Senga's stuff compare to before he got hurt and as far back as spring training?
y la calidad de los picheos de Senga, cómo estaban comparados comparado con antes que se lesionó.
Senga trajo hoy yo creo que su mejor staff en lo que va de este año. Solamente tuvo un primer inning difícil, como dije anteriormente, en lo que se desarrolló el juego, fue demostrando lo que él realmente es y eso es lo que todos esperamos y todos sabemos que él puede hacer.
You know, Senga today, I thought had the best stuff he's had all year. Obviously, he had a rough first inning, but after he made those necessary adjustments, Senga looked like the pitcher that we know that he's capable of being, and that the pitcher that we can depend on.
How deflating is it after you win a big series against the Braves to come here and then drop these two so you lose this series?
Qué duro se siente para poder ganar una serie en contra Atlanta y después perder una serie en contra Cincinnati aquí.
Es difícil perder, nadie aquí adentro quiere perder. Todos queremos ganar, todos los días antes del juego esperamos eso, ganar. Y perder los dos juegos no se siente bien, pero mañana hay otro juego y tenemos que levantarnos otra vez y seguir compitiendo.
You know, it's difficult to lose. Nobody likes to lose. When we're in here, we always prepare to win the game. But yeah, it's tough losing the first two games, but tomorrow we have to come back when we have the opportunity to win one.
You've seen Senga's forkball when it's at its peak. How closely does the one that he threw today compare to when it's kind of clicking on all cylinders?
¿Tú has visto el forkball de Senga cuando él está en su mejor momento, comparado con ese momento, cómo él estaba hoy, cómo estaba ese picheo hoy?
Yo creo que está bien cerca, está como un 80-90%. Es su primera salida después de venir de la lista de lesionados. Creo que se vio bastante bien y esperamos que él nos siga ayudando. Yo creo que él es gran parte de nuestra rotación.
You know, I think it's really, really close. I think maybe at an 80 or 90% of where it was before the injury. But yeah, like I just said, it's his first game back post injury, post injured list. So I think Senga's going to be a big part, and it's someone that we depend on, and we know that he's going to be able to go out there and produce.
Kodai, what do you think was the main issue that led to that tough first inning?
やっぱり難しい初回、何が要因だったんでしょうか。やっぱり久しぶりの登板というところもありましたし、自分のやらなければいけないことがうまくまとめなかったなという印象があります。
Yeah, first time back out there on a big league mound in a little while, just wasn't able to gather it all together in the beginning.
Did you feel like even as you settled in and were able to get better results in the last three innings that forkball command was still lacking overall tonight?
後半につれて良くなりましたけども、その中でもフォークがなかなか決まらないなっていう印象でした。
フォークも低めをすごい捨ててるのは伝わった中で、スライダーを増やして今日もほとんど投球の半分に近いぐらいスライダーを放って、スライダーがすごい感覚も良かったので、最後の3イニングが良かったからこそ最初の立ち上がりが、悔しいなという気持ちが特に強いです。
Yeah, I noticed that they weren't swinging it much down in the zone, so pivoted over to the slider. There were a lot of sliders, and that was effective. Because those last three innings were effective, that first inning is frustrating.
Alvey said in terms of quality of stuff, he thought it was the best that you've had this year. Do you agree with that, and why or why not?
アルビーは、球の質自体の質の話だと、今年一番良かったんじゃないかっていう話だったんですけど、千賀さん自身ではいかがですか？
でも感覚的にもすごい、状態的にもすごいいい状態ではあるのかなと思っているので、あとはもうまた出番があれば、自分のピッチングをするだけだと思っています。
Yeah, I think my condition was good, my feel was good. Just kind of trying to go back out there and replicate that if I get another chance.
How confident are you now that the injury stuff is in the past and you'll be able to finish out this season as a member of the rotation?
怪我が終えてリハビリを終えて今は健康な状態でこのまま、ローテーションの一角として、シーズンを終える自信のほどはいかがですか？
しっかり、 登板間でいい状態を作れれば、いけることは、いけると思います。
Yeah, I think as long as I'm able to prepare the way I should prepare in between outings, I should be able to go out there and be effective, and that's the goal. Yeah.
When you broke in, that ghost fork was obviously so nasty and got so many swing and misses. How much more difficult has it been just to navigate lineups when that pitch isn't where it needs to be for you?
ルーキーシーズンなどでは、フォークで空振りが多く取れてたのに比べて今、フォークが、一番良くない時、状態が一番じゃない時、なかなか空振りが取るのが難しいように感じますか？
どうしてもボールからボールが非常に多いっていうのと、やっぱどうしてもバッターが低めはもう全部捨ててる、あんまりチェイスしてこない、チェイスっていうか低めゾーン内もチェイスしてこないところがあるので、それで、もう少しスピードあるシンカーだったりスタイルだったり使えるともっともっと幅が広がるし、そこに手を出してくれるとどうしても多く振ってくれる、その追っかけっこかなと思います。
Yeah, some of those fork balls weren't in the zone to start off with. They were ball to ball, so it's not gonna work very well. But even the good ones too, I can tell that they weren't swinging at anything down below the zone. They're not chasing. They're not swinging at much in the zone either. So that's when the faster pitches like the sinker or the slider, they start to play better, and that's what I did today.
Kodai, given the state of the team right now and the state of the rotation, quite frankly, just how much, whether it's pressure, responsibility, however you would describe it, do you feel to find a way to get back to the consistency that we saw earlier in the season and stabilize for this team?
チームの状態も、こういう状態ですし、ローテーションの状態もこういう状態の中で、責任感であったりプレッシャーであったり、チームがなるべく安定するようなに対してプレッシャーや責任感を感じます。
本当に、登板が急遽決まってから、その気持ちを作り直したんですけど、やっぱり自分のパフォーマンスをすることを考えるだけが僕の取り柄かなと思ってたんですけど、それ以外の部分をいろいろ考えてしまったのが初回に出たなっていうのが、そのまま現れたんだと思います。
Yeah, that's certainly something that I'm striving for. When I heard that I would be pitching today, that was my main focus, and that's what I tried to pivot to. Now, after knowing that I wouldn't be pitching in the minor leagues anymore. But unfortunately, in that first inning, I think there were some other aspects other than just going out there and doing my job. Unfortunately, I think that got the best of me.